What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports Channel. Let's get right into it. I am super late on the news. I've been seeing the news, it's been super busy, but my reaction to Micah Parsons going to the Packers, crazy blockbuster trade. First off, not surprised. You follow the channel. I've been on board, not on Parsons, but I've been on board with the Packers making an explosive move. I did Tyreek Hill all off season, especially early on during the off season. Didn't happen. And that was more pre-draft. And then I did also post-draft. I was doing Trey Hendrickson videos and short stuff like that. So, but also the rumors out there about Love wanting Parsons, and he'd been recruiting him behind the scenes since like February, something like that. And then the fit made sense. So I'm not surprised about the move when I first seen it. But my reaction, honestly, is really about Jordan Love. I know Parsons is on defense, stuff like that, but all the pressure to me is on Jordan Love. He got to perform. And I don't have Super Bowl prediction this year. Kind of late, like I said, busy, kids in sports, work, family life, all that good stuff. Didn't do a prediction video for Super Bowl like I did last year. But last year, my prediction was Packers versus Texans. And I was a year early on the Packers. Now, like I said, I'm not going to do one now. But Packers do look good. They do look like they should be good. But in that video last year, the same rules apply to this year with how I felt about the Packers. Everything, even with Parsons, everything rides on Jordan Love's progression, and his consistency. Those are the main things. And health too, because he's gotten banged up, already banged up this year, had surgery on his non-throwing hand. Last year, started off the year banged up. I forgot what the injury was last year. But it all depends on Jordan Love. You think about how the Packers have done Love, they have done him phenomenal. They have set him up for greatness. It's all on him. All the pressure is on Jordan Love. If you want to see how a team should cater to a young quarterback, Jordan Love and the Packers are the prime spot, are the prime example for that. He's set a couple years behind one of the greatest players of all time, especially the greatest quarterbacks. And Aaron Rodgers set for what, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it was, 2, 3 years. And then he come into a good situation, good running situation. You have Josh Jacobs, you have Dobbs and those boys, Reed and those guys. Defense pretty solid. He came into a good team. Didn't quite have a super awesome first couple years start, in the first year or two start, whenever it was, but he looked good. He did look good in certain moments. It's kind of a tale of two halves. First half, kind of iffy. Second half, he kind of steps up and turns it on some there. But if he can find a way to be consistent for the entire year, especially when it matters the most, I think this team is sky's the limit, man. Like as I said, going back to what I was saying earlier, my point about them building around Love, he sat for years under the same coach, same scheme, same system. So there's no learning. So there's no having to learn a new coordinator or new playbook every single year. He's under the same guy the last couple years. They've also brought in a new number one weapon in Matthew Golden, someone I believe in heavily. To give you an example of how much I believe in them, I was saying for the Panthers, I believe Panthers had picked, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. I was doing videos out the wazoo last year, draft season, about how the Panthers are better off getting Matthew Golden than Ted McMillan. They didn't do what I wanted them to do, but I had Golden as my number one receiver in this past year's draft class, so I'm very high on Golden. They got him at pick 18, I believe, 18, 19. So it's awesome there. They brought in just last year, they brought in one of the top safeties I love a lot, Xavier McKinney from the New York Giants. Brought him in, had a heck of a first year. At a certain point in time, he was the leader, in my opinion, the first half of the season for the defensive player of the year. So, they built that team. Good old line, like I said, Josh Jacobs, defense pretty solid as well. They're one of the younger teams, but also one of the better teams in the NFL too, man. So Jordan Love has a great. He has a great, man. And even if Golden doesn't work out and be number one wide receiver from his rookie year, he's still going to be at least a number two at best, at least to start off. Another number two, Romeo Dobbs, another number two in Reed, good depth receivers and Wicks and those guys. So he has a plethora of options. Very two good tight ends, Kraft and Musgrove. He's solid. The team around him is solid, offense and defense. Rashawn Gary. Now the weak spot is that cornerback room. But they played fairly well last year without Jair Alexander, who's now moved on to the Ravens. So they should be fine under their DC going to a second year, Jeff Halfley. So now added Parsons. I think they should be good. They should be good, but I don't think they're unbeatable. And that's the thing, they will have tough matchups. Micah Parsons isn't the end all be all. I don't think he's the game changer. I don't watch these shows in full, but I do see clips. First thing first take, stuff like that. And a lot of those guys have flipped their picks from other teams. Now the Packers are the team from the NFC for their predictions just because Parsons moved on. I think that could be a little of recency bias, to be honest. Parsons is great and all, as we all know, but he's not the end all be all. Guys like him can be stymied. Guys like him, have been injured down the stretch or gets tired down the stretch, have getting worn out, especially coming to the season already haven't been playing at all. So I think there's a shot that Parsons might not be great from the get-go as people think. But down the line, down this season, he could ramp it up some and get going and have a great impact. But I don't expect much the first couple weeks. Something solid, but nothing crazy. But I just think, man, as long as Love can stay healthy, make good decisions, and be consistent, I think they'll be just fine. The sky's the limit. But there are some monsters out there. The Eagles, as we all know, the Lions, Commanders, hopefully my Falcons, the Buccaneers, the Vikings. Like, as we know, the NFC North is littered with just monstrous teams. All four teams can represent the NFC, in my opinion. Vikings, if JJ McCarthy can play well, they have a team built around him awesome as well. Caleb Williams, as Lions, so on and so forth. So, I just think it's not as set in stone as people think. Just because they have Parsons now, which is awesome, I don't think it's set in stone that they're going to represent the NFC or the best team in the NFC quite yet. I still think it relies on Jordan Love's arm and his mind. Him being healthy, him making good decisions, and him, just being consistent. That's the main thing. Be consistent for the full year, not have a Jekyll and Hyde year like the previous 2 years. First half, little rough, little iffy. Second half, turns up, gets going a little bit. If he can have a full year or at least get super hot in the playoffs, I think that's when you can say, okay, the Packers are super dangerous. Right now, they're in the mix still. They got even better in the mix, but I think I don't think they're the favorites for me just yet. As a non-Packers fan, I don't think they're the favorites to me just yet. And like I said, I don't have a prediction too late now. Season starts next week, so I'm not gonna try to do it now. But I had them last year without Parsons, so you would think I would have them again if I were to do one. So I would hire them last year. I will be even higher this year. Now they have Parsons. So, but we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see how everything shakes out. Hopefully, most guys stay healthy. They'll be awesome. I want to see teams at their full power. But you know how the NFL works. How rough it is. How tough it is. Things happen. Injuries happen. So we'll see how injuries play a part in this season for all teams, not just the Packers. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.